So much media, so little time. Who keeps track of it all? That would be me. This is Bob Andelman, and this is the Mr. Media Interview, broadcast and recorded live on blogtalkradio.com from the new media and baseball capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida. First, the good news. His TV dad is Benjamin Bratt. And now the bad news. His TV dad is an avenging angel for God. Brett DelBueno, I will get that right. Brett DelBueno currently stars as Ben Banks alongside Benjamin Bratt on the A&E original drama, The Cleaner. And he is going to join us right now. Brett, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hey, how's it going?
Going okay. Sorry, I butchered your name. I'm just tripping over my own tongue today.
It's fine. I've heard much worse.
You're very kind. Your parents raised you with good manners. Hey,
good enough.
Brett, what is a nice, good-looking kid like you doing in the midst of all the alcoholics and drug addicts that infest The Cleaner?
Well, I'm an actor, so that's kind of the whole scene.
It's not real? No, my gosh.
No, it's not real.
How did you get this job?
Well, I live in Boston, and I go back and forth to New York and to California for auditioning and stuff. And this one, I did every other job. I auditioned for it, and then I had a callback, and then I met with the producers and everything, and then we filmed the pilot. And now we just wrapped up season 1 of The Cleaner.
Wow, you've completely finished the season. Was it 10 or 13 episodes?
It was 13 episodes, including the pilot.
Wow. All right, well, let's back up, though. Let's back up, because you told a very nice, clean story, and that's wonderful. But this is radio. We have to get people to use their imaginations. Surely, it was a little more complicated landing a role on a show like this. Did you say you only auditioned once, and you got called back, or
Oh no, I had all in all, I think it was a very quick auditioning process compared to other things I've worked on and stuff. But this took about 3 weeks altogether, which is like a blink in auditioning time. But I went for an initial audition at studios where we shot, which is in Los Angeles, California, and on right off of Ventura Boulevard on CBS Radford, which is a studio out here. And I went for the initial audition. I was in there for 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe, and I did the audition. I got a call back for 3 days later, I believe, and I went back, and in the room that time were the director and the writer, who gave me direction and had me tweak the scene a little bit. And then after that, I went for kind of another audition, but it was a half audition, half meeting thing, where I met with all the head honchos of the show, and I guess they signed off on me then, and I went to meet with the A&E executives, and then I guess they signed off on me. So then I got on the show.
Oh, see, it was a little more complicated than the original story. What are you, I'm guessing you're 15, 16?
I'm 15, yeah.
15. What's going through your head? I know that you've done some film work, and I know you've done some stage stuff, but this is a pretty good opportunity. What's going through your head, and what are the people around you saying to you as you're going through this process?
Well, everyone around me is really supportive. Like my family, they all want me to keep going, and in my head, I'm just hoping that, if our ratings keep up, and then we'll get a season 2, so I can keep doing this. But this is all I've ever really wanted to do. I'm not good at much, I just love acting. So this is what I'm hoping to do. That's kind of what's going through my head. Keep working.
Well, let's go backwards a little bit then. What was the first screen role that you had, either TV or film?
Very first screen role I had was in a movie called Freedom Park that I shot when I was 10 years old, I believe. And I filmed in my hometown of Westboro, Massachusetts, and all around there. And so I did that initially, and that was it was really exciting. You know, it was this very low budget indie film, and it wasn't SAG. It was just it was my first taste, and you know, I've been wanting to do it ever since. So it's I don't know, it got me hooked.
How did you know, what took you from that to where you are now? Did someone see you and say, you know what, I see something in this kid, I want to help him along, or was it just a series of events? You know, I'm asking you this not to drive you crazy, but because I know that there are other young people, and there'll be parents who will wonder, well, how do you break through? I mean, there's an awful lot of people who want to do what you're doing. Oh
yeah. No, it's a lot of work. That's the quickest way to describe it. But what I did was I started off doing theater, and I found out that I really liked it, and then from there, I actually went into modeling, and I was a child model, and that was fun, but that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I started going to New York, because I would go into Boston for modeling and stuff. But I started going into New York, and I went with this TVI actor studio thing, and I went there, and they had an intensive week-long thing where I kind of got to see more facets of the business than I had previously been involved in or known anything about. I met like casting directors and agents and stuff, and so what I did was, from there I got an agent, and I started going to New York and auditioning for films and television, and I've been getting bigger work and heavier roles and larger roles, because after I went to New York, I booked a movie called This Revolution that was that went to Sundance in 2005. That was really cool for me because I actually went to Sundance, and I was a 12-year-old kid at Sundance, so that was cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just been a very, very slow progression from the stage to modeling to acting to print. But I was in New York, and they said that if you're really serious about this, you're going to want to go to California, and that was after I'd gotten some work and I'd done projects, and so I could go out to California, but it wasn't as instant as I thought it would be, because I didn't realize going into this how many people are trying to do the same thing. There's for guys there's a lot less than girls too, but for at any given audition there could be hundreds of kids going for one role, and it's all you got to have a lot of luck, and then you got to know the part and know what you're doing up there.
Well, you're too young. I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're too young to remember. But there was a show. Maybe you've heard some stories. There was a show years ago, Lassie, and it goes all the way back to the 50s on through the 60s. And the kid who played Timmy on that show wrote a book just in the last year about what it was like in the 50s and 60s. Being on TV and pursuing exactly what you're going after. I hesitate to recommend it to you because some of it's a little more grown up, but maybe mention it to an agent or folks or something, and be a good book for you to check out. I wanted to give out our phone number if anyone would like to call and talk to Brett DelBueno, co-star of A&E's The Cleaner. I know we've got some activity in the web chat. The number is 646-595-3135. And, Brett, we've actually got a call here.
Yay.
Check out. Yeah. Hi, do you have a question for Brett? If anyone would like to,
Hi, this is a fellow actor, and I was wondering if he had any comments on how to, get noticed like he has obviously done.
All right, and if you could, I'm sorry, Brett, before you answer, if you could you turn down the sound on your computer? Because it's feeding back to us. All right.
Let me step
Brett.
away from that.
All right.
So what's the question again? I'm sorry.
That's all right. I was wondering, I'm a fellow actor also, and I was wondering if you had any ideas or anything that helped you, get noticed when you went into an audition.
Definitely one big thing that I like to do is when I go into an audition, usually casting directors will try to talk to you for a minute or two, and, they'll try to get a feel for what kind of kid you are. And what I like to do is, like, going in, I always kind of have a topic to talk about. If they say, like, what's up, like, now the Olympics are on, so I bring up something about the Olympics, and I'll be like, oh, nothing, I've just been watching the Olympics a lot. And you kind of want to let them see your personality, because you don't have a lot of time in the casting office, and you want to leave a lasting impression as best you can. So then
just try to get remembered, right?
Yeah, talk to them. Yeah, try to stay fresh in their mind and be that interesting person.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem, man.
Thanks for calling. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, Brett, how different is it to be acting in a recurring role as opposed to this one movie here, one movie there? It's this a little more security, I guess, knowing that week after week you've got a job.
A job, yeah. It's always nice for an actor, because that's the biggest thing that we face is do we have a job coming up, or are we gonna have to chill out for a couple of months and wait for something to come along? But yeah, I'm on the show pretty much every week, with the exception of, I think, 3 episodes this season. So that's that was great, and it is definitely security, but it's also exciting to know that I get to go to work, because that's my favorite thing to do. The whole other process up to it, it's just kind of work to get to what I want to do, and when I'm on set, I don't feel like I'm actually at a job or anything. I feel like I'm just having fun, and I'm with people who have the same interest as me, and they all want to do what I want to do. So it's a great environment for me, and it's really it's educational as far as acting goes, because I'm around these people who've been working for years, and who know a lot more about the business than I do, and so it's like one giant acting class where people get to see what you're doing, and it's exciting.
When you're out in Hollywood shooting these episodes, do you have a parent or parents with you, or how's that set up?
Yeah, I have to have one parent with me, a guardian at all times on set. So what we actually do is my mom, who is the greatest mom in the world, she gives up a lot for me, and she comes out to California with me for a couple of months at a time, and we leave, sadly, my brothers and my dad back home, and my cute little doggy Mika. But we come out to California, and I'll audition or I'll work, and then I'll go home for a while, which is always nice. I'm actually going home soon to spend a few months with my brothers and my father and everything. So it'll be fun. And me and my mom are flying home, I think, a week from 2 days ago, Wednesday, that day. Yeah. So it's nice to go home after a while.
Now that the show's been on, and I think what's been 4 or 5 episodes have aired at this point.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
4.
It was going to be 5, but we didn't want to go up against the Olympics.
Yeah, I can't imagine why not. Were your parents at all concerned about the show's subject matter and the strong language?
Not really, because it's not. It's used in a very tactful manner. It's not all. It's not just the strong language isn't just there to be edgy. They use it in the way a person would in everyday life. It's not like they toss in a swear word just for the heck of it. And the subject matter is it's something that should be out there but isn't. So I feel like it's almost something that I should do. to help, because we actually have had people call in who've seen the show, and they say who are either addicted or who have friends or family members or loved ones who are addicted, and they call in and say, I need help, or look, I've watched the show, this is exactly what my friend's going through, I need you to help them because I don't know what to do. And so that's really the greatest feeling in the world, knowing that me acting and everyone else on the show, that for all of us, it's the biggest reward possible, because it's not just actors anymore, it's people who are helping other people, and I get to help people doing what I love to do, so it's really a win-win for me.
Well, I think we've got another call here, so let's see. Hi, do you have a question or comment for Brett?
Hello?
Hi,
hello.
You're on the air. Yep.
Yeah, hi, it's Scott from California. Quick question. Just curious, what's it like for you on a normal work day there? What's your typical day?
Depending on how many scenes I do usually do about 3 scenes every day that I go in for work, and I'll go in, and when I'm in school, I have to do 3 hours of school on set, because I'm a minor and I'm still in school, so I have to do at least 3 hours of school. So I'll usually come in early. I'll do some school. I get my sides that have most likely been revised from the night before, so they're pretty different, and I'll go over them with whoever I'm in the scene with, and then we will have a rehearsal where they'll set up the shot, and they'll set up the lighting, and then we go chill out for a second while they do all that, and then we go back to work. So, and usually for the kids, because we have to have a set teacher, they like to get us in and out quick so that we're our whole day isn't spent there, because we do have school and stuff, and when we're not, they don't want us to not be kids, so they'll have us couple a lot of our work together, and we'll do it in groups of days instead of spaced out over the week. So it's pretty nice. I'll go in and I'll get half of my scene work done in one day, and then I'll go home, and 2-3 days later I'll go in, get the rest done, or maybe space that out over 2 days. So that's basically my day.
Good question. Do you have another?
Not really. That was it.
All right.
Oh,
well, that was a good one. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, first time I've ever been asked that.
Yeah, I wish I had thought of it. I thought that was a very good question.
Yeah.
You were talking about, we haven't really explained for people who don't know what the show is about. You are a member of, on the show, you're a member of Benjamin Bratt's family. He is I'm not entirely clear. Is he a mechanic? Is that how he earns his living?
Yeah, that's his trade. He works on cars, and he fixes up in an old shop, but he also uses this surf shop / auto body custom part repair thing, auto shop, as his base of operations, really, and people who find him, because he doesn't have advertisements, he's not on the internet, you can't really find him anywhere. This guy is kind of a ghost, so it's all word of mouth, and when people find him, they'll come to this repair shop and they'll come looking for him. But he's a mechanic by trade, just because there isn't always a case to work on, which is which is a good thing, I guess.
Well, in the cases, this is what we're getting to, is that the cases are a friend or a family member will come seeking him out because they've got someone in their life who is addicted, and a pretty serious addiction, and they want him to step in. And usually it's what I've seen so far, it seems that they hesitate to bring him in, and because nobody wants to face up to the fact that their spouse or their child or coworker is addicted, and then there'll be some pushback after a while, and then of course something breaks open, and of course mommy's a dealer, and
yeah, exactly. That was the week before last episode. That was a good episode. But what people are most hesitant, because no one wants to it's a very taboo subject. No one wants to admit that someone you love is doing something that could be hurting them or is hurting others around them. And the thing is, addicts usually don't realize that it's not just them, that these drugs or this alcohol or their gambling or whatever they're addicted to, it's not just them that it affects. It's everyone around them, and it's their family members, and it's everyone who cares about them. And that's kind of what William Banks, who's played by Benjamin Bratt in the show, that's kind of what he tries to show them, and he'll kidnap them by request, not just grab a person for the heck of it, but by request of their family, and take them to his rehab and clean them up. Hence the name of the show. But it's a very new thing for me. I didn't realize that there were actually people who did this, and I met the guy who actually does it, and he's a great man. It shocks me every day because he still does all this stuff, and he's still day in and day out helping people, and in all of his free time he comes to set and he makes sure that the show isn't becoming something that it shouldn't, where it's just becoming a piece of Hollywood marketing, or they want to just kind of make it all dark or unrealistic, and he's there making sure that it's all real and everything that's the nitty gritty and all the stuff you don't want to talk about, that's there, because that's what the real stuff is. And the ultimate aim of the show, the reason why he wanted to do it, is to help people. And he's a great man, and I respect him very much for all that.
I want to send a word out. We've got a caller, and caller, stay with us. I'll get to you in just a second. Brett, I was kind of curious. You're 15. I've got a daughter who's like 11 and a half. I'm not trying to set you up. Don't get me wrong. But my question is this. I remember this past year in school, they introduced a lot of stuff about drug addiction and alcoholism. And we were kind of amazed at the amount of information that she came home with, and stuff that she didn't even know existed before. And I'm thinking, you're a young guy, and I'm sure you're starting to deal with an awful lot of things. It was a long time ago, but I was 15 once, and I'm kind of wondering if, kind of what you were saying about this guy a minute ago. Does it shock you, the things that are in the scripts, the things that you're hearing about from this guy who actually is a cleaner?
Oh yeah. Well, when I initially read the script, the first thing I thought was, this is this real? Is there really a guy who does this, or is it? Because it seemed kind of far-fetched. But I met the guy, and it's not at all. This is actually what he does, and they actually tone it down a little bit because it is TV.
Right.
But it amazes me how much addiction there is out there, and how many different types of people it affects. Because like in our first episode, the person who was addicted, he was addicted to methamphetamine, and he was a 15-year-old little kid who lived in this suburban house, and what had happened was his father died, and he needed something to escape to, I guess, and so he started using abusing drugs, and just graduated until he finally got to meth. And then in one of the most recent episodes, there was a housewife, it's a suburban housewife, seemed like she had the perfect life, and she was taking pills, and it just shows that it doesn't matter how you were brought up or where you live, it can affect you, and that's the most shocking thing to me, because I never really thought of it as it could be anyone I know could be addicted to anything, and it's a real eye opener. It makes you think, and that's an exciting thing to have when you're on a show. Something that makes you actually think about what's going on.
That's good. You've obviously got a little intelligence and maturity beyond your age, and you seem to handle this well. Let's see what this caller has for you. Hi, do you have a question for Brett?
Hi, Brett. This is Sally from LA. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to find out. We watch your show every Tuesday, and we love the show. You do really good. And just wanted to find out, are you anything like your character on the show in real life? Your character is not very nice.
No, I'm not like my character. I have my moments of moody teenagerness, but that's just being a teenager, I guess. But no, my character's been through a lot more than I have, and I feel like I have a lot closer relationship with my father, and so I don't face the same problems he does. To that respect, every kid has problems, but I think the big deal with my character is that his problems are more deeply rooted in family than most are.
Well, you do a really good job. I just have to tell you, my teenage daughter loves watching you, so we look forward to watching you every Tuesday.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck in the future.
Thank you.
That's very nice. Thanks for calling. That was a good call.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good question.
So, let me ask you, since you mentioned her teen daughter, are you, the show's been on, about 4 episodes now. I mean, it's a little early, but TV spreads quickly. Are you getting recognized? Are you hearing from, teens who are like, oh, Brett, not yet?
No, not really. It'd be kind of cool to get some of that, but I don't. I'm not getting any of that. I'm just getting family members going, oh, you did so good on the show. I'm so proud of you. I get a lot of that, but they're obligated to. They're my family.
Well, that's true. That you can't pick your family.
Yeah.
But so they have to be supportive. Now it'll be interesting. I know you're going home next week. Have you been back home since the series started airing?
No, I haven't. I haven't been back home since. Actually, I was back home for 2 weeks, about 2 months ago.
Well, that was before this. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before we started airing. But I've been out here filming the show since April. So it's been a while.
Do you have a sense of are people excited back home? Local kid makes good kind of thing. Are we gonna?
Yeah, probably. My brother, the people who are probably most excited are my brother and my father, because we're a pretty tight knit family, and we spend a lot of time together when I'm home. So it'll be cool to see them again, because I haven't seen my one who I have 2 older brothers, but the one who's the middle one. So I haven't seen him for about 4 months, so I miss him a lot. We've actually just started getting along. We've just passed that phase where you hate your brother, and now we love each other. So.
Oh, that's good. That's very nice.
Yeah, so it'll be nice to get home and see him and hang out with him for a little bit.
All right. Let me give out our phone number again. If you waiting for an opportunity to talk to Brett and ask him about the cleaner. Want to ask him about Benjamin Bratt, you can do that. I don't know what answer you'll get, but you can certainly ask. 646. He's laughing. Maybe I'll ask. 646-595-3135. Okay, I'll ask. So, first of all, I'm wondering, have you seen him in anything before the show? I'm imagining
Benjamin
when he
Bratt?
was on Law and Order. Yeah, when he was on Law and Order, that was a little before your time.
Yeah, I wasn't an avid Law and Order watcher, but I've seen his work, and I actually right before I went for the audition, it was kind of funny because I was watching Miss Congeniality, which was a movie he was in, and I never realized how good of an actor he is, and it was great when I started working with him, because it's just it's a treat every day. I go to work and I see. I see all my friends, and they become more like a family than not. And Benjamin is he's so helpful, and he it seems like he really cares about me doing well, and I appreciate that so much. He takes care of me when I'm on set, and he makes sure that I'm having fun, and that I'm I'm looking good on the camera. So, if he's listening, thank you, Benjamin.
If Benjamin, if you're listening, you want to call in and put him on the spot, that'd be okay too. He seems, I've enjoyed watching him for years, but he seems, for the most part, to be, and I guess it's just in the roles, but to be a very intense gentleman. Yeah,
it's kind of funny because he's not flippant, but he's not that quiet. He's kind of quiet. I don't know. He's very hard to explain. He's a very nice guy though. He's not a ton like his character. He's a great dad. He's got 2 kids of his own, and he talks about his kids a lot. And it's obvious that he loves his kids. That he's just a great guy, and it's, like I said, it's a treat to work with him every day.
As the series opens, you are playing football. He is your coach. Kind of an ugly way to set the scene for a father and son situation, but I guess it's appropriate to the characters. Yeah.
He what happens with in the pilot? If everyone listening has seen it, it sets up that there's a rift with his family. And that there's definitely 2 separate parts of his life. There's his work part, and there's us as the family. And what we as the family struggle with is he spends so much time at work. Does he still love us? And we know that it's not so much love. Does he care about us as much as he cares about his work? Because we know that he's our father. He loves us, but is he gonna devote everything to work? Because before he was addicted to drugs, and he's sort of replaced being away from us because of getting high and stuff and using drugs with being away from us helping people. And the difference is now you can respect him being away more, and you can make it okay, I guess, by thinking about it as he's helping people. It's not him doing drugs anymore. He's actually helping people out. But to the same effect, to the same respect, he's still not there. And as a kid, as a wife, as someone's son or someone's daughter, you want your dad around, and he's not there 100% of the time, and it just upsets you. And he's a very, the character, he's a very, very intense guy, and he wants to get stuff done, and so then there's the pressure, the whole pressure aspect of it, and you wanna make him proud of you, but at the same time, my character's striving for a little independence from his father, and as most teenagers do, he's testing the boundaries. The only difference is he's not a regular father, and we don't have a regular relationship. So it's interesting to see how our relationship evolves throughout the season.
Well, I was going to say there's a great scene near the end of that first episode. I don't want to give too much away. People really should see the pilot. But at the dinner table, where he's very blunt with you and the young lady who plays your younger sister about where he was when one of you was born, what he was doing, and what he's doing now. And it's like there's one. Boy, I tell you, it's a very dramatic episode. It could be a movie. It could easily have just been like a 2-hour movie, that episode.
Yeah, that's what we call them our little 1-hour movies.
Yeah, it's very intense, and I was going to say that a great deal of each episode focuses on Benjamin and the addict of the week, basically. People who've watched a lot of hour-long dramas know that there's the recurring parts, in this case the family and the family interaction, and then there's the addict of the week and their story. And so when you have a scene with him or any scene, it tends to be very intense. It's not like, give me the remote, I want to let me pick what's on TV. It's like it's very tense, and
Yeah.
Really get involved in it. Let me give out the phone number again. I know that the web chat's been very active. A lot of people in and out of there today, and we've obviously had some calls. So if you'd like to talk to Brett, co-star of The Cleaner, it's Brett DelBueno. Did I get it right that time?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Give us a call, 646-595-3135. Brett seems very able to handle himself. I'm sure he can take any question you can throw at him. Now, Benjamin, bring it. There you go. That's the hot attitude. Bring it on. Come on now. Benjamin Bratt is not the only big star you've worked with. You've had some other interesting roles. Tell me about Rosario Dawson and the short film you did, The Casket.
I worked with Rosario Dawson on This Revolution.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got that backwards.
That's cool. But with Rosario she's a beautiful woman. She's a very, very kind woman, and she was a lot of fun to work with because I was younger and it was cool because she's very, very pretty. All my friends were jealous of that, so I got lucky there. But she's a great actress, and she's really, really nice, and for the level of success that she's had, and when I was working with her, she was successful at that time too, and it was cool because she was just very down to earth. She was a chill, I guess, person. She was very relaxed and very, very nice. And so that was a lot of fun working with her, and she makes it easy, and she gives great scenes when she works. So it wasn't too hard working with her. Put it that way.
I could believe that. She is a beautiful woman, and I'm hoping that you have not yet seen her in Clerks 2.
No, I have not seen Clerks 2.
All right. Well, you can wait until you're 18, I think. Hey,
I've been told I should.
Yeah, I would wait, but once you're old enough, it'll be great. Got another phone call for you here. Hi, do you have a question or comment for Brett DelBueno?
Yes, I do. Hi, I'm Alice, and I was wondering what's it like working with Benjamin Bratt?
It's a lot of fun. He's a very, like I said before, he's a really nice guy, and he helps me out a lot on set too. Like if I'm having trouble on a scene, we'll sit down and we'll talk about it. He's very not vain or self-centered at all. So it's easy to work with him because he's kind of a big star. So it was intimidating at first, but now I get to work with him and he treats me with the same respect he would treat any actor, and that's something I really appreciate too. And one thing that we do that's helpful for both of us is if we have a big intense scene together, because that's where most of my intense scenes are. It's with him. So we'll sit down and we'll actually talk. We'll talk the scene out. And we'll switch around the dialogue. We'll not even use dialogue. We'll just talk about what's going on, and that's a quick way to get in the character's mindset, and it's a great way to start thinking as the character would think, and get into that moment for the character. So, all in all, it's a real honor to work with Benjamin, and it's fun.
Well, that's great, and just so you know, I think you're really cute.
Thank you.
Alice, I was just going to ask you, would you like to see more of Brett in the future?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think he's one of the best characters on the show.
Well, that's not quite what I meant, but yeah, okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
No problem.
Bye-bye. I think you're going to get a good reaction when you get home next week. I have a feeling there's going to be some girls that are going to be very happy to see you, and girls that you didn't even know existed are suddenly going to make themselves known to you.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I hope my grandma's listening.
Hi, Grandma. I'll tell you what, I showed your picture to my daughter. I can't show her the show. She's a little too young for that. Yeah. And I said, what do you think? You think he's kind of cute? She said, well, and now Dad has never asked this, so, she had a kind of, well, Dad, and she's giving me this look, and she's staring at the picture. Dad. I said, no, I'm just, not a big deal. She said, well, at least 50%. I said,
at least 50%. That's fine by me.
Yeah, well, there you go. And then
it's the curly hair. It's the curly hair.
You're saying it works for you, huh?
it's the long curly hair. That's all. That's all I got going, I guess.
Well, let's tell Alice and some of the other young ladies out there, when you're not acting, what are you interested in? What do how do you spend your time?
When I'm not acting and I'm not in school, I like to, I picked up guitar last year, so I've been playing a lot of guitar, and that's a lot of fun. And I started swimming because I got to stay in shape because I'm playing Benjamin Bratt's son, and that guy's in the best shape humanly possible. So yeah, I'll exercise and I'll play guitar. When I'm home, actually, me and my brothers, my brothers are, my oldest brother plays semi-pro hockey, so I'll get on the ice and I'll play hockey with him for a while. My other brother's a great golfer, a great baseball player, so we'll I'll do a lot of sports when I'm home, and probably mow the lawn a lot when I'm home, because as the youngest, I now get to mow the lawn, and and I've been driving. I got my permit a little while ago, like 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and I've been driving, so that's fun.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I passed. Only got 3 wrong. That's 46.
That's very good. And as I said before, I do remember having been 15 once, and getting your license. That's the big moment. There'd be some other things, but that's freedom, my friend. You enjoy that. Got for you here. Hi, you have a question or comment for Brett DelBueno from The Cleaner?
Yes, I wanted to know if you commuted back and forth to Boston.
Yeah, I did. I did when I was doing the modeling and stuff, and it's a quick trip for me. I think it's like 45 minutes to get into the city. So I used to do that. A lot, and I used to just, my mother would drive me in, and we'd go in. I'd do the audition, grab some food in the North End, and then head back out home. And that's actually where it all started, was going into Boston, and then from Boston it went to New York, and then New York came out here to LA.
Did that answer your question?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Do you? Okay. Let me ask you what I asked Alice a minute ago. Would you like to see more of Brett?
Of course.
Yeah.
It was a leading question.
Does he have a girlfriend?
Do I have a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well. But we would like to see more of you, so.
Okay.
Thanks so much for calling.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Are we having fun yet, Brett?
Oh yeah. Now we're getting to the meaty questions.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's the girls that are asking these questions, because not the questions I'm the most comfortable having to ask a 15-year-old. Well, I want to ask you about another movie. This one, I think we'll find that more people have seen Balls of Fury. Christopher Walken, George Lopez. How did you land that role, and what did you do in that film?
I landed the role pretty much the same fashion I landed this role. It was just auditioning, and I came out here and I was actually just about to leave for home again, but I had an audition for, this movie, Balls of Fury, and it was this comedy with ping pong and the underworld of ping pong, and it sounded really funny. So, and I went to the audition, and I got a call back, and I went on the callback, and that was one of the most exciting callbacks I've ever been on, because I watched the show Reno 911 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it, but two of the guys from Reno 911, Tom Slannon and Ben Garrett, were in the room at the callback, and I went in and I was like, oh my God, this is guys from Reno 911, and I didn't know whether I should say something or whether I should just sit there with the dopey smile I had on my face at the time. So I met them, and that was a treat. And then later on, I got to meet Christopher Walken, and that was cool. He was because he's walked, and I was tempted to go up and be like, "You gotta have more cowbell," and see if he would respond to that. But I didn't. I was nervous how to go up to him, so I ended up going up to him, and I said, he was playing. He had this fan that lit up, and I knew exactly what it was, but I wanted to get into a conversation with him because I was nervous. So I said, "Oh, is that a fan?" And that was how we started. And he was all excited about the fan, so it was kind of cool. But yeah, so I met him, and he said, "Hi, I'm Chris," and I said, "Chris? What?" I don't know what I was expecting them to say. I don't know. I don't introduce myself as Brett Daniel DelBueno, but I was kind of expecting, "Hello, I'm Christopher Walken." But that's not what came out. "Hey, I'm Chris," and I was like, "Ah, hello."
I guess you find, because I guess people are protective of their stage names and their names in productions, that they use their full name there, but they're still Bob or Brad or Chris, and
yeah. When you really meet them, it's still their what they are in real life. It's what people call them on a day-to-day basis. It was just weird. I wasn't ready for that. That was just a mind-blowing moment. Because I used to watch him. I used to watch him on. I was a big SNL buff, and so I used to watch all of his stuff on SNL when he was. I believe it was the Continental, right?
Right. Absolutely.
That was one of my favorite SNL skits. It was just funny, and so I met him, and it was just. It didn't seem real, and he was such a great guy, and George Lopez too. He was a great guy. He was just very nice, and it's been great because everyone I've met who's been a big celebrity, hear all these horror stories, but everyone I've met, I've been lucky enough to meet people who are all very down to earth people and very, very nice, and that's what I've been experiencing, and I'm just excited that that's what I get to work with.
No, it's good. It's good to hear good stories, because there's plenty of
horror stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give out our phone number one last time as we head into the end here. And you've been a great sport, Brett. You never know when you arrange to talk to someone about your age about something like this. You never know what you get into, but I've been very impressed. You're a very smart kid, very mature, and you tell a good story, and you do a great Christopher Walken.
Oh, thank you. It's been years and years of practice on my Walken. It used to sound a lot like Shatner, and sometimes when I actually say full sentences and not just more cowbell, it comes out Shatner. So
I appreciate it.
Luckily, I got to stop at cowbell.
So last chance, if you want to get a phone call in here, ladies especially, 646-595-3135. Are there any constraints on you in terms of, I imagine there's only so many hours that you can work because of school rules and labor laws in California, but in terms of the types of roles that you take, is there, have you talked with your parents, and have they said, okay, we want to support your career and you're doing great, but there's certain things that we would have to say no to on your behalf?
Luckily, I haven't had too many roles, but I think the only thing that there would be a big objection to would be something more overtly, I guess, more overtly sexual than what's going on, because that's the biggest. You don't want to be known as that guy who is doing, who's up there just doing things for the sake of doing it. I mean, if it was done tactfully, it all depends on the subject matter. It all depends on how it's done, really, for me and my family, I believe, because I don't know if I can speak for them, but if it's done for the sake of being edgy or for the sake of trying to be cool, it's not real for me, and there's no point in making that. But if it's done for if it's done because that's what would really happen in that situation, then it's much easier to, justify doing it. But, as far as swearing and stuff goes, and I don't think there's a big problem with that in my family. I come from an Italian and Irish family, so there's quite a bit of that at Christmas.
At Christmas? Wonderful.
I'm kidding. Some Santa Claus.
Yeah. Screw Santa Claus. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. More eggnog.
Exactly. More eggnog.
In shows like this, there comes a point where the writers start maybe reaching a little bit, and your story arc. It seems like when you have a family in a drama, something bad happens to all of them at some point. Now, obviously, we haven't seen the last 9 episodes of the season. You're done with the season, you mentioned. Is anything bad going to happen to Ben Banks, or if not this season, do you think the writers have something in mind for you in the future?
Well, it depends on what you mean by bad. Like, if you mean, something that it could, it's wrong by most standards, then yes, something bad may happen. If you watch the show every week.
That's a tease. Okay, you have to watch it every week, and maybe something bad will happen.
And maybe, if you don't watch it every week, it's going to be Barney in 2008. But my character, he's obviously, he's got problems, so those come to the forefront during the season. And the girl who plays my sister, Liliana, she goes through stuff this season too. And of course, my mother and father, who are at each other's throats at points in the season. It shows their happiest moments and their saddest moments, and it's full of emotion, but it's all real, organic, and it all fits, and it's all real for me at least. And I hope when people are watching, they get that same feeling too, that this isn't just a TV show. It's a description or kind of like viewing a real family with real problems. Granted, these problems are ones that families don't really face. I could compare it to my own, but I feel like I'd be stretching a bit there because I don't face the same stuff. It is a regular family in some respect. We have our moments of family dinners where we're all just sitting there and we're all happy and we're chatting, and we also have our quiet family dinners where no one wants to say anything because something bad's happened or something bad could happen if the wrong thing is said. So it's a good show of what really happens in life.
Well, Brett, we've got someone did sneak in under the wire here. We've got one more call for you, I think. Hi, do you have a question or comment for Brett DelBueno?
Of course. How's your experience been working on the show?
It's been great. They're all really nice people. I get to work with great people every day, and I'm actually going to spend some time with a guy who plays Esteban. Me and him became a guy who plays Swenton. I'm sorry, his real name's Esteban Powell, but we became friends. So we hang out. We've gone out for me and my mother and him and his friends. We all went bowling one night, and and Benjamin again. He's a great guy. He helps me out when I'm working, and when I'm not working, he's just very welcoming and inviting. He never shuts his dressing room door, so we can go in at any time. Just talk to him if you want to. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and my mother on the show is great. Sister on the show is great. Everyone's really a nice guy, and it's actually we've pranked each other a few times on set. I set up a prank for Kevin who plays Darnell on the show.
Right.
I went in his room when he wasn't there, and he was coming in later that day, and I took a bunch of pictures of Esteban, who plays Swenton on the show, and I put him up in his room, and I put hearts all over them, and I wrote I Love Esteban, Marry Me Esteban.
Nice.
All over them, and then they got me back with a lovely poster where they put my head on a bodybuilder's body.
Oh, that's
so, yeah. But it's a great environment, so it's fun to work on the show.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for calling.
No problem.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. So I guess I need to ask you, because I'm not sure. I thought I had read that the show had been renewed for another season. Am I getting ahead of things?
Oh, I hope not. If it is renewed for another season, that's great. I don't know anything yet. I'm an actor, so I'm second to last on the list to find out. But if it is renewed for another season, you've just put me in a terrific mood.
Well, I wasn't sure. I should have double checked. I wasn't sure. I thought if it had been, you would certainly know for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're looking forward and hoping to come back for another year.
Oh yeah, very much. It's great to work on, and they're gonna, if we have a season 2, you're talking about, and they're gonna do some really, really interesting stuff with it, and hopefully it'll keep viewers watching, and we can have a bunch of viewers next week and the week after and the week after and through season 28. So.
Well, folks, you can learn more about Brett DelBueno and The Cleaner on A&E by visiting www.aetv.com/the-cleaner/. And the easier way to do it is probably just go to aetv.com and click on the button. It's probably got Benjamin Bratt's face, I'm guessing, and it'll take you to the site. And I suspect it will not be long that Brett DelBueno will have his own website, because I suspect, based on the young ladies who called in tonight, there's going to be a lot of demand. Brett, you were a great guest. You seem like a charming young man. I want to wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us on Mr. Media today.
Oh, thank you very much, man. It was a fun interview.
Thank you. Go back, have a great time, spend your time with your family, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for a second season for you.
All right, we'll do it. And tell your daughter, hopefully I can move up to 75% at least.
I will tell her. All right, Brett, thanks very much for calling.
All right, take
Bye-bye.
it easy.
All right, bye-bye. So, folks, for dozens more celebrity and media newsmaker interviews, surf over to our main website at www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my previous conversations with the stars, writers, and producers of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Heroes, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Army Wives, 24, The Big Bang Theory, Bad Santa, Tell Me You Love Me, The Dark Knight, The Spirit, and many others. And please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites, whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, Digital Journal, Blueberry, Zencast, Odeo, Kindle, or iTunes. And thank you so much for listening today. A lot of you called in. That was great. A lot of you were in the web chat. I appreciate your time. And if you're hearing us on archive, thank you for your time. Please come back and catch us again real soon.